Welcome to the Reading eText workshop. My name is Dina Martin. I am a librarian at WCC, and I'm here to help you learn from reading. Let's start by thinking about how eTexts are different from traditional or print text. Print texts connect to your senses much more than eText. When reading a print book, you can feel the weight of the pages in relation to where you are, which makes it easier to know where you are and to find what you need. With eText, you will need to create your map or landscape to make it easier to track where you are and find information. With eText, it is easier to be distracted by the technology you are using to read. eText may have great links to outside resources, but those are best used to help you understand your assigned reading without further distraction. Turning off your device notifications will be helpful so pop-up notifications don't interrupt your reading and thoughts. Thinking and reading work together to help you learn, providing your thoughts are on the same topic as you're reading. So how do you maximize learning from reading? There are 5 steps you can take to read eText effectively. Let me introduce them to you, and then we will focus on each one. Although I am keeping this workshop brief, we could easily spend hours on just one of these steps. If you need more help with learning to do these steps, there are campus resources that I will highlight later. Step 1. Learn to use your e-reader or eText. Step 2. Determine your purpose. Step 3. Survey the text. Step 4. Have an annotation plan. Step 5. Review, review, review. Step 1 is to learn how to use your e-reader or eText. If you are using an e-reader, it is important to be comfortable with basic functions such as bookmarking, highlighting, note-taking, and page turning. In the slide deck for this workshop, you will find some sample function logs that explain how the basic functions work. There is also a blank log that you can print out yourself to make one for yourself. Not everyone is reading an eText on a mobile device. Many instructors have adopted free textbooks or open educational resources. Digital text can also be purchased instead of print. It is important to learn how to navigate whichever form your textbook takes. So here's an example of an online textbook. Some things to look for are various formats that you can read. In this example, we can read the web version or download several file types depending on our needs and devices. We can also download specific chapters to read for less scrolling and less space on our devices if needed. It is a great idea to look for navigation features such as the table of contents and searching the text. In this example, the chapter title is on the top of the book viewing frame, and the page turning is located on the bottom right. When I turn a page, I can see which chapter I am reading, which is helpful so I can ensure I read the complete assignment and not read more than is necessary. Step 2 is determining your purpose. The assignment instructions are the best place to start this. Your purpose will depend on what kind of information you need and what you will need to do with that information. How you read will change depending on whether you are answering quiz questions, studying for an exam, discussing the reading, or writing about reading. Step 3 is survey the text. Think of the survey as a preview, so you know what to expect when you read more deeply. Note the title, which usually provides the biggest clue to the topic that you will be reading. Also, preview the headings and subheadings of the assigned reading. Some assignments may include an abstract, introduction, and conclusion. Read those too. As you are doing this preview, start generating questions based on your preview that you will actively seek the answers to when you do the deep reading. This sets you up to read more actively, which means you will comprehend and be able to recall information more easily, which is part of learning. Examples of preview questions will be shared later. Step 4 is having an annotation plan. Annotations are the things you underline or highlight in some way in the notes you write. Annotating a text is a way to make reading interactive and will lead to greater comprehension and learning. Annotating takes practice, so the more often you do it, the better you will get at it. When it comes to eText, there are 3 ways you can annotate. Annotate digitally, on note paper, or print out what you need and annotate directly onto your printout. I'm not going to specifically cover annotations on a printout in this workshop, but many of the steps I will discuss are applicable to direct annotations. Also, printing can be expensive and may not be an option for everybody. Annotating digitally means you use your device's features to annotate or another digital annotation tool such as Hypothesis that I will demonstrate later. Your annotation plan includes what and how you will annotate using your chosen method. I will cover the what and how more specifically after we talk about the note-taking method. Note-taking annotations will require a notepad or paper that you will write your annotations on. This method is also helpful for those who don't like to write in their print books, although I would encourage you to go ahead and annotate your own books. Using this method, you will want to indicate what some of your annotations correspond to by noting headings, subheadings, or page numbers to help you find the corresponding section of the text for when you need to refer back to it, such as asking an instructor for clarification or pulling a direct quote for writing a paper. No matter which method of annotation you choose to use, having a plan for what and how you will annotate is an important step. So that is what we will talk about now. How do you annotate? Depending on your purpose, you will highlight, underline, or circle important items that support your purpose. You should also write notes about any questions you have, thoughts, feelings, or your own experiences. The more you connect with what you are reading, with past knowledge and experiences, the more likely you will remember that information when you need it. Create questions that you will answer based on the headings and subheadings of your readings and annotate the answers. Many times these questions and answers will make a great study tool when reviewing. You can also use symbols such as the question mark for confusing information, exclamation points for main ideas or what you suspect are main ideas. An equal sign next to your own conclusions or thoughts about what you read can be really helpful. There is no one way to annotate. Annotations are unique to our own thoughts, feelings, and experiences. With practice, you will find out what works best for you. Here's an example of annotations using the note-taking method. This works for digital text and borrowed books from libraries and other sources. The text itself is the same regardless of how you are reading it. Let me show you some of the things I annotated so you can see what it looks like, although I will not point out everything you see. I wrote down several questions I had after surveying or previewing this chapter. Many of these I created based on the headings. I did note the heading section in case I needed to refer back to the original text, but I didn't always write out the whole heading. You can add preview questions to the relevant notes you take, and you can create questions that will become great reference and study tools. You can also number the preview questions and write the number corresponding to the answers in your notes. I created my own visual here. You also see evidence of my thoughts or metacognition while reading. It is this interaction that leads me to better understand and remember what I read more than I would have with passive or inactive reading. What do you annotate? Although much of this was mentioned in the How to Annotate slide, it is worth highlighting again. Remember, annotation takes practice and there is no one way to do it. But these annotations will help you understand and recall information later. What you annotate always depends on your purpose for reading. However, thesis statements, main ideas, and conclusions are a good place to start. If you are not sure if you are correctly identifying a thesis statement or a main idea, you can note that in your annotations. It is also good to note confusing text or specific questions you have so you can seek answers or assistance later. Writing down your own thoughts, feelings, or experiences will help you connect with the text, read actively, comprehend, and store that information for later use. Step 5 is review, review, review. Your annotations will help you commit information to memory, but for long-term memory, you will need to review. Your annotations will become a tool that will help you study. It is best to review new information more often at first and then less frequently as time passes. Since your e-reader, eText, or notebook annotations can go anywhere, you can take advantage of that. I'm always on the lookout for tools to help students. There are many options available to you, but I want to briefly mention Hypothesis, which is a free online tool that works with web pages and PDF files. I find Hypothesis to be one of the best tools currently available. It is free and easy to use. You can use Hypothesis on your own for digital annotations, although instructors can also have small groups or a whole class annotate text together. Here is an example of an annotated web article using the Hypothesis Chrome browser extension. I can create page notes, such as this one, that provides a summary I can use later to help me identify the article. I also have the ability to highlight and add notes, also called an annotation here, by using the cursor to select the text I want first. Both highlighting and notes show up in the Hypothesis pop-up that I can easily hide. When I click on any notes or annotations I create, it jumps to the relevant location of the text. I can delete, reply to others, and share my thoughts in annotations. You can see an example of how I used Hypothesis to actively read by creating questions from the headings and writing the answers to those questions. Most of us take our reading skills for granted, but students are surprised and see the benefits to reading strategies and assistance. There are multiple ways to seek additional reading assistance. The library can help you with learning the features of online resources, and WCC librarian Dina Martin can also provide assistance to help you read your coursework effectively. This assistance can be done remotely, so students at any campus or home can take advantage of it. The Student Success Center peer tutors also receive training to help other students learn at all WCC locations. Academic success workshops, such as this workshop, teaches skills on numerous topics to increase student learning and success. You will be able to access the slide deck and the links to the resources highlighted in the Academic Support Services for All Students Canvas shell. Students at any WCC location can self-enroll to access these resources from the library's web pages. I hope you found this video helpful. The various academic support services look forward to helping you regardless of location or world events. See you later.